Vince A.Cefalu is a 24-year veteran of the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms and Explosives, or ATF. His work undercover with drug dealers, motorcycle gangs, and white supremacists has earned him many honors. That's A.Cefalu in the car, undercover posing as a bad guy on a murder-for-hire case. He looks the part, and he knows it.
My forte has been in street-level violent crime, gangs, undercover.
That was A.Cefalu's career for 19 years. Then, suddenly, he says ATF turned on him. 5 years ago, A.Cefalu was the lead agent on a racketeering case. He became aware of what he says were plans for an illegal wiretap involving the main suspect. So he complained to his superiors.
I was told if I didn't sit quiet, well, I can't say it on television, but they were going to bring it to me.
ATF disputes A.Cefalu's claims of an illegal wiretap plan. Still, since then, he says the Bureau has done everything it can to force him out.
Had I not exposed some unethical, potentially criminal conduct and actions by law enforcement that I was working with, I would still be out working in the field.
Instead, he sits in his office near San Francisco with little to do. He says it's punishment for speaking out.
Now I report to where they've told me to report to, and I sit for 8 hours a day, and I go home.
You do nothing.
I do nothing.
And he's not exaggerating. We gave A.Cefalu a camera and asked him to document 5 days at work.
It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon, watching a little news, surfing the net, answering some emails, doing whatever, waiting to find something to do. Inbox, again, still. I have no pending assignments, no awaiting assignments. Took a few minutes, drove up and got some Taco Bell. That's been the highlight of the day so far.
A.Cefalu is still a special agent with ATF and gets paid more than $150,000 salary, plus benefits.
It's been personally, physically, emotionally draining.
It appears that complaining at ATF can be career suicide. We've talked to dozens of other active and former ATF agents, supervisors, and employees who say that once they filed a complaint, they were labeled as troublemakers or were demoted.
It's almost like being in a abusive relationship, actually. It's almost like domestic violence, really.
Hiram Andrades is currently an ATF supervisor in the Washington, D.C. field office.
You know, you think that things are going to get better, things are going to improve, but they don't.
ATF has not had a director in 4 years. What needs to happen?
We need to get a director that's going to come in there and is not going to put up with this nonsense and put up with this bullshit. Basically, that's what needs to happen. Right now, they're leading this agency into the ground.
Deputy Director Kenneth Melson has been leading ATF since last year.
When I first came into ATF, when I went around and talked to people at headquarters and around the country, my specific and very emphatic message was that everybody is to be treated with respect and dignity, and there will not be retaliation. I will not stand for retaliation against people who are abiding by our orders and reporting violations of law or regulations.
Our investigation found that in the last 6 years, ATF has had more complaints filed per employee than either the FBI or the DEA, both much larger agencies. Melson says since he joined the agency, the number of discrimination complaints has gone down 40%. Then why are we hearing from so many people the same story, that if they file a complaint, they're retaliated against, and this is under your leadership?
Well, there hasn't been retaliation under my leadership that I know of.
But Agent Vince A.Cefalu says he's being retaliated against right now. The Bureau says he's had discipline and performance issues. We saw A.Cefalu's personnel evaluations. Everyone is good, with the exception of an unacceptable review following that 2005 wiretap complaint.
I am sitting here with an empty inbox and nothing to do.
Melson is not allowed to talk about specific cases. How would you feel if you knew about an agent who sits around and does pretty much nothing all day long?
Well, I certainly would look into it and find out why he's not doing anything all day long. I'm sure his job description doesn't tell him to do that.
Why not leave?
I spent my whole life standing up to bullies. That's all I'm good at. The bullies right now are government bureaucrats who are abusing their oath and abusing the expectations of the public. I'm not leaving until this is resolved.
Abby Boudreau, CNN, San Francisco.